Hello guys, I welcome you all in this tutorial, and in this video I will show you how you can use navigation graph in your application to travel between different destinations within your application. So let's get started. So our Android Studio project is ready. I have already created a project for this tutorial, and if you have not yet created any project, just go to File, click on New project, selecting the activity from here, name your application here, and click on Finish. And one more thing that I mentioned here, that is you need to enable data binding, because I'm going to use data binding in all of my tutorials. So if you don't know how to use data binding and how to implement it in your project, I have a quick tutorial on it. You can just check it out in this playlist. And when you're done with this data binding things, now it's time to start with navigation graph. So first of all, what you need to do is you need some dependencies for this work. So let's go to the browser, and here you will find the latest version of the navigation. We're using Kotlin, so you need to copy these two dependencies to your app level build.gradle file. So here is your app level build.gradle file. So click on it and add these two dependencies. So I just put an enter here so that I can identify the new added dependencies. So we need to do one more thing. We need to define the version of these two dependencies. So as you can see, the latest version, latest update, and the current stable version is 2.2.2. So what you have to do, just copy this line and go here, and at the top you just paste it, and this is the version of the dependencies. So I type the latest version 2.2.2. Now synchronize your project. If everything is fine, it's gonna work well. It will take some time to download the requirement files in background, so just wait for a while. So our project is ready now. It has been synchronized successfully. Now what I will do in this tutorial, that I will take two fragments, then I will travel between these two fragments using the navigation graph, and it's very easiest way that you can use in your application. It uses the less boilerplate code, and it's very comfortable when you're developing, and it also reduces your development time. So let's get started. Click on here and this directory under Java directory from here, and don't forget to select Android from here and click Java and the first folder where main activity code.If file is located. Just at the parent directory, click on new and go to fragments. So we need a blank fragment, and we don't need the include factory methods. Just uncheck this, and yes, we need a layout file so we're gonna name it like fragment1, just call it 1, or let's say call it first destination, first destination, and click on finish. And we need another fragment, so the same way we call it, uncheck this box first, then we call it the second destination. So we now have two fragments to travel between, and we have this fragments layout files. Just need here in the resource folder and click on layout. So here's the two fragment files. Now we need a navigation graph. Click on the resource folder and click on new and click on Android resource file, and the resource type will be this time the navigation, because we are going to work with navigation, and we name it the navigation and graph. So, and click on finish, nothing else. Click on OK, and it has created a navigation graph for you. The first time it's empty because we have not yet added any fragments to it. So if you look at here, the host no nav host fragment found. So the host fragment is the parent fragment that will host the other fragments within it. So you need to have a fragment where all of the fragment will be coming, and it will be populating in this space. So you need a parent fragment. So to define our parent fragment, just go to an activity-main example file, activity main example file. So here we are going to attach our parent fragment, our host fragment. So clear everything else, go to the design tab, and from here click on container, and you will see that there's one thing called nav host fragment here. If you just click on it and drag it here, it will automatically prompt you this navigation graph that we have just created. So just select it and click OK. Then it will automatically generate some code behind you, just behind the scene, sorry, not behind you. So click on code view, and as you can see, there are some auto-generated code for you, and the name is the name nav host fragment, and everything else is there. Navigation graph. So we can see there is an error. The view is not constrained vertically. So it's pretty simple that as it's a constraint layout, you need to just attach it to the constraints. So just click on here and click on the plus signs, and if you want to do more thing like layout width match parent and layout height match parent, because we are going to take the whole place of this parent activity main.xml file. Okay, so now we are done with the host fragment. Now next thing comes into our mind, that how can we populate this fragment with other fragment. Now go to the navigation graph.xml file, and as you can see, it has automatically catched our host fragment, that is activity main, and the fragment ID is here. So if you click on this icon, is the new destination icon or button, new destination button. As you need to see the icon, you need to be familiar with this icon, because whenever you go come to this screen, you're gonna have a lot of job with it. So click on this new destination button and add our first destination. So here we have our first destination, and click here again and click on fragment second destination. So now we have our two destination. Now what we have to do is to connect these two destinations. If you just click on wait, one more thing I forgot to tell you, that as you can see, there's a small home button here. just above this fragment. So it actually indicates the starting point of your destination. That means it will just start from this first destination. That means that when you kick up the app, it will just start from this fragment, and it will then navigate to this fragment. Well, how you can connect these two fragments? If you just click on this first fragment, destination fragment, you can see a small dot here, blue dot here. So it's actually indicates the connector. If you click on it, you will have a line. Just come here and just release this line. Release the left click, and you will have connected these two destinations. If you just click on this line, you can see this action attributes here. It's an ID. We will work with it to travel between these two destinations, so we will need this badly. And the second parameter is destination, ID and destination. So this action ID is this, and the destination is the second destination. Okay. So now how we can actually implement this? So we can just take one button in this first destination, so that we can click the button and it reaches to the second destination. So come here on the resource folder and click on layout and select the first destination, and we will create a button here. Just clear everything else and put a button here. So it's a frame layout, so that's why it's having some problem. Okay, no problem. We can just say that match parent. Okay, then name it next destination. Now we need to add a click listener to this button. So how we can do that? To do this, we need to go to the first destination fragment class. So it's here. Click on first destination fragment, and actually I forgot to tell you one thing. That is, you need to make this layouts compatible with data binding. So you need a layout tag at top level. So just cut everything else from here and paste it inside, and cut this namespace lines and paste it at the top level here. This line is needed because it indicates the namespace for this layout. So it's done, and we need to do the same thing with the second destination layout. Cut everything else, paste it here, and cut the namespace lines and paste it within a layout tag. Now we are done with these layouts. Now let's back to our work. Click on first destination fragment. Now here we are going to organize this code according to data binding. So erase this return. We need a variable. We call this variable binding, and the return type, the variable type will be data binding class type. So the class name will be just camel case of this layout file. That means fragment first destination. As you can see, it's actually prompting this rest of the thing for us, the whole class name. So we click enter and equal to there. This one is the suffix. It adds a suffix of binding with every class name, so it's easy to identify. And it's equal to, then you need to call a class that is data binding utilities dot inflate, and the first parameter is the inflator. The second parameter is your layout file, I mean your current fragment layout file, first destination, and the view group, that means the container, and attached to root is false. In most of the cases you will see that attached to parent is false. So if you want to know more about it, you can just do a quick search on Google. You will find the details. And the rest of the thing, container and inflator, this everything is here, just like inflator, container. Okay, so this is just a basic of how you can add a layout in your activity. So I have a different video on it, so don't forget to watch it. And just here in the next line, we are going to initialize the button. Just click on binding, and we need to see what we have. What is the ID of this button? So we have given this ID that is just button. Okay, so we can access it through the binding object. If you press dot, then button, then dot, set on click listener, then you need a view, view dot find nav controller and dot navigate, and within this navigate it's actually demanding the action ID. So what is the action ID for this button? What will be the action ID? So this is the action ID, will be this one. So you can just manually keep writing there, or you can just copy from here, whatever you can feel comfortable with. It's a big name, so just copy it. If you don't want to copy it, you can just write r.id. Then you can just first fragment name, that means action, then first fragment where you're traveling from, and the second one is to, and destination. As you can see, first destination to, second destination. So if you write just simple thing, then you can see the prompted. So this is our action ID. Now we need to return the binding root. It's kind of just returning a view. So we are done. Now let's compile and see whether it's working or not. So our build is successful. Let's see whether this action click listener is working or not. We click on next destination and we get our second fragment. Well, this time we can't really noticeably see the change, so let's do a quick change. That is, we want the second destination background in a different color, so we just give this second destination a different color, in this green, light green color, and just click on this text, and we give a big text to see that it's the second fragment. So we click on the text size 30, or when we change the text, that is sorry. So we change the text, second destination, and we do the same thing with the first fragment. Design tab, give it a color, click on background color, we take it as blue color. Okay, so we rebuild this project, apply the changes. So the changes has been. So now, as you can see, we are on the first destination, and if we click on next destination button, it actually navigates us to the second destination. This is how you can travel between different destinations. I have showed you how you can do within these 2 fragments. It's pretty simple for 3 and 4 and multiple fragments, as much as fragments you want to actually do the same thing with. I will catch you up in the next video. Thanks for watching.